Okay, take three. I've tried recording this three times. It is not working. We're going to do our very best. Welcome to my millennial home. Gray walls, white tree, gray blankie, emotional support bear. Okay, so super disjointed episode in my opinion. We're on Sister Wives season 18, episode 11, airing the dirty laundry. It didn't really seem to fit together as well as I would have liked it to, and we are going to gloss over a few points, and I'll explain why. Don't worry. So let's jump into the conversation that Janelle had with Cody last week. And Christine's like, it would be so easy to fix, except that Cody's blocked. So it's really not as easy to fix as you'd like to think, is it? Um, but then Christine does concede that Janelle's situation is a lot harder than hers. So we come back into Christine's kitchen, and McKelty's there, and she's like, I gotta tell Isabel I'm pregnant. And no fanfare, no nothing, just like, Isabel, I'm pregnant. Okay, great, thank you. Um, like, she says Isabel is the last person to know. And it's almost like, did you call everybody? Did you call Maddie? And you weren't even like, oh, hey, could you just like toss Izzy the phone so I can tell her too? What happened there? Anyway, you could have just called her instead of screaming at her, but whatever. So she pulls out the sonogram and Christine freaks out. And here is the point where I feel like I need to add some context to a short that I made because some people seemed confused by it. I have twins, and um I felt like Tony feels. The reaction when I said I was having twins was not a freak out like that, not at all. um but I felt just like Tony, that look on his face of like panic, of concern, not knowing what to do. That was me. There were some complications that started very early on, and I really struggled. And I have some continued struggles with that experience. But those days after we came home from the NICU were some of the best days, honest to goodness. Like, there is nothing better than having two cute, squishy humans that you get to keep. Oh, they're so cute. They're still so cute. Anyway, but I get it, Tony. I get the concern, the fear over multiples. My husband was more like McKelty with just like a lot of positivity. Everything's great. And the best part was like, my husband, when I said, well, maybe we could have one more baby, he's like, how about two? Well, he got his wish. So, um, Christine talks a little bit about the sonogram and how they look so cute all mushed together there. And those early sonograms are super cute and super blobby. And she's like, McKelty's going to be huge, like huge. And I'm like, no, I don't remember being huge. Though one of mine was like stuck up in my rib cage and stayed there till the C-section. So McKelty's like, I'm always super hungry because I'm eating for three. Could not relate. Hyperemesis for the loss over here. And she's like, I wasn't even surprised I was having twins. Also could not relate. Could relate to Tony, like, huh, what, why, how, two? Yep, yep. So Cody's trying to tell us that twins don't run in his side of the family, and they must be from Tony's side, like completely erasing the fact that Christine's genetics exist. Also, twins don't have to be hereditary. I mean, they run in my family, but that doesn't mean that they run in everybody's family who has twins. Just saying. McKelty reminds us that she's always wanted twins, and if I remember correctly, when she got married, she said something to Maddie about maybe having twins, and so she must have had twins on the brain from that long, I guess. She even thought that Avalon was a twin, and Christine maybe has some multiples in her family because she tells the girls that she thought one of them was a twin, but it's unclear whether she means McKelty or Isabel or, frankly, even Truly, who's there. Um, and then we got to a confessional where Tony's like, how did this happen? And this is the point where I no longer am with Tony because he's like, are they both mine? And McKelty laughs hysterically. But like, I would have been like, excuse me? Here's a biology textbook. Figure it out. Um, so McKelty's like, I have to buy twin stuff. And I'm like, twin stuff. Two car seats, double stroller. That's really it. You actually don't have to buy anything specific. She's like, I have clothes. And it's like, okay, so then what do you mean? I don't know. Whatever. Robin probably already has the credit card out and has bought two of everything on QVC and Amazon, so what do I know? Christine brings up that they did twins too. And all right, here's the deal. I'm probably about to get roasted in the comments. That's fine. But girl, no, you didn't. I get it. Gwen and Gabe are 4 days apart. Same age, same stage. You figure it out when there's two of them that age. That's not the same thing. It's just not. And go ahead, roast me. Tell me I'm gatekeeping multiples. Tell me whatever. That's fine. But there's something very different about carrying two humans in your womb and all of the struggles and fears that come with that. And maybe it's just the trauma talking, but it's not the same thing. One went home to his mama and yours stayed with you. Sorry. I'll be that jerk. I'll say it. I don't care. So right, once again, we go right from McKelty baby stuff into Mary's tragic everything. um, like let's stop. Like we had Avalon's birth and Bonnie's death side by side, and now we have McKelty's having twins and Mary's second divorce side by side. That's probably mean. Um, it does start to feel though like somebody at Puddle Monkey just wants to keep getting those digs in at Mary, and that's mean. So anyway, she tells us that their 32nd anniversary has gone past, and that it kind of feels obligatory just to go out for it. And she's like, it doesn't even take me out for my birthday, which reminder is the day before Cody's. And in case anybody's following timelines, Robin's birthday is just a couple days before Gabriel's. Do with that information what you will. So she lets us know Cody didn't even call her. And so about halfway through the day, she decided to call him. Was like, what are we gonna do? You wanna go out? You wanna go for a drive, get some dinner? And he's like, I'm watching the kids, let me ask Robin. And he flat out tells us he just needed a way to say no. Obviously, he didn't find one because he asked Robin, who's going to tell him he has to go out with Mary, because they end up going out. And she lets us know that partway through, Cody like brought up faking relationships, like us. Codester. Mary wasn't faking. I hate to tell you, because she's shocked. Um, and so she's like, "What?" And he's like, "I don't even know why you called because we're not acting as a married couple." He was going to say we're not married, and she knows it, and she calls him out on that, and she's right. That is exactly what he's going to say, because this is the first time that Mary's hearing, according to her, that Cody feels this way. So Cody reminds us that right before their 25th anniversary, that's when Mary threw him out. No. And that they went to counseling, and through counseling and his other wives, he thought, I really have to try and fix this. Fix what? I can't help but be reminded of when they were building those homes in Vegas. And so you remember that scene? Mary's there just like trying to decide on flooring, and Cody gets really fed up and is like, bring me a wife who can make decisions. Dude, it's flooring. It's not that deep. She just wanted you to be a part of it so you would feel like it was your home too. And maybe show up to it every so often. Whatever. She didn't throw him out. She asked for a break from all the fighting. He got mad and he didn't come back. End of story. She's like, I didn't even pack up your stuff and make you leave. And she didn't. So Cody proceeds to tell her, your life is not one I want to insert myself into. And that's mean, but at least it's direct. Because he hasn't been very direct in all of this previously. So yeah, that's painful. Um, so then this is the part where we're gonna gloss over because I can't. We're gonna talk about some hospitals and fear of hospitals and polygamy and yep, we're gonna skip over a couple things. So essentially, Christine feels like polygamous folks avoid hospitals because of fear of people finding out, which for her makes sense because of the way that she grew up. Janelle feels exactly the opposite because she did not grow up fundamentalist. She grew up mainstream LDS. She had 50-50 births, if you'll remember. Half of hers were at home, half of hers were at the hospital, and she liked the home births better. So she also tells us that Cody's name is on all of her kids' birth certificates. The way that Christine's talking, it sounds like he might not be on all of hers. Christine said that her kids might still have some fear of hospitals because of that. And we kind of get that feeling when McKelty's like, I don't want to deliver at a hospital in just a couple minutes. Um, in fact, she's talking about how her midwife doesn't do twins, which is typical. You wouldn't generally do multiples outside of a hospital setting. I mean, most people with multiples deliver in the ER or the OR in case something goes wrong. So she's going to call up Dr. Bean to help with hers, who is the doctor who delivered Truly. At which point we get set up for all of the births that we've seen on this show, nearly. And I had to fast forward through part of it because I just can't with all of the drama and all. I can't. So we did get a random bit of Cody preaching in the middle of there, which I'm not sure the context because, like I said, I couldn't handle it, so I fast forwarded through part of it. So if you know why that was there, go ahead and comment because I would like to know why that needed to be there. And then Christine shared some concerns about being around Robin with the pregnancy and the delivery, and I can understand that because if McKelty's delivering in the OR, then you're basically just sitting in the waiting room with somebody who doesn't like you, and that's the end of that conversation because I just can't do it. Thank you, Mr. Bear, for assisting. So we head to Flagstaff for Truly's birthday party, and I mean, it's not as done up as Avalon's, but still fun. And I really enjoyed the shirt that Truly chose to wear because I'm sure it terrified her parents. And by her parents, I mean Cody and Robin. So we get Robin chasing Cody out to the grill and asking how things are. And he's like, well, I hope they're not burnt, which historically Cody has not been great with the grill. So that's a genuine concern. And then we get to see some clips of the kids interacting, and everyone looks miserable. Like, I literally turned to my husband and said, everybody but Ariella looks miserable, don't they? And that was before anybody could say anything else. Like, legit, I was like, oh, she looks miserable. So then Robin's like, um, Truly's 12. And all I could think of was the Amber Heard, my dog stepped on a bee thing. And like, that's all I got from that. She's like, next year, she's going to be a teenager. And yes, Robin, that is how both time and math work. So Robin's like, it's so nice to have part of the family together for this party. And I just want Truly to feel safe in my house. Okay. And then she's like, Truly and Isabel are having such a great time. And they both look like they would rather be anywhere else. So then Robin reminds us that Truly was born right before she and Cody got married. And yeah, because there was that scene at the florist where I think Christine said that Truly was like 3 weeks old. So still a newborn. Yup. And that tracks because they got married on May 20th and Truly was born in April. So, yes. And then Robin gives the line that almost made me get up and leave. And I was already upset to start with. So, she says, so it's this kind of sweet experience that truly has no memories, or doesn't have any memories without me and my kids. It's not a sweet experience, Robs. It's not. Everything that Truly has ever done has gotten overshadowed by you and your kids. And I truly, no pun intended, hope that Truly never finds my videos or anyone else's videos in this community because I don't want her to know what kind of angry feelings that we all have toward her father. But yeah, Robin, you suck. Just my opinion. Um, so Cody tells about the gloomy cloud that's hanging over everybody's head because of the divorce, and yeah, it's strange. So he says that the kids are like, can I trust him? Should I trust him? No, no, they shouldn't. They shouldn't trust you. After everything that we have seen and heard you say on this television, no one should trust you. I don't care if it is an act for the cameras. I don't. Um, so he's like, Truly's fine, but Isabel's uncomfortable all the time. You abandoned her. Why would she want anything to do with you? She needed you, you abandoned her. Sorry. And then we jump back into the party where Cody's like, everybody can only have half a piece of chicken because we only got 6. There's at least 9 of you there. And to quote Final Fantasy IX, You always want to make more than the number of guests in case someone shows up late. Y'all know what quest I'm talking about if you've played that game. Don't send the Moogles to the wrong spot. I don't know that it does anything different. Just don't do it. Um, so Isabel jumps into a confessional and smiling tells us how her relationship with her father's never been stable. This is not the first time she's told us this, and the expressions don't match what she's saying at all. She points out that no one knows what to do in a divorce, and a polygamous divorce is worse because there's more people to not know what to do with it. Cody's like, there's a lot of pain, and my phone calls have been really weak. You just told us you don't call your kids. So, like, how have your phone calls been that weak? I don't get it. Meh, I lost my spot. I lost my spot. Because this was important. Okay, so then he's like, the situation's disappointing because the goal was to have the family live under one roof. And then we see the flashback to the big house, which just a reminder, he couldn't legally build on the property that he has anyway, so it was all just kind of a farce that lasted way too long. Too many episodes, too many seasons. I was done. So he's like, was my failure asking too much of the big family idea? And as he's saying that, if you freeze frame it as he's saying that, it's just Robin looking upset, uncomfortable, and unhappy about the idea of sharing a house with all these women. But that seems fitting. So he says that maybe they've been more successful in separate homes raising the kids as cousins. And just a reminder, Robin's three children from her first marriage are cousins. Yeah. Preston Jessup is Christine's first cousin and Cody's third cousin, I believe, if I have that correctly, making those children cousins. Yeah. So um, we need to also reflect just a little bit on living in the Lehigh house because from what we have seen only on the show, that was the most successful period in their lives. Because when we got to Vegas, things fell apart for sure. And then we got to Flagstaff, they really, really fell apart. And why? Because Cody only wanted to be in one home. And they've talked before about how it was obvious in Vegas because you could see in the cul-de-sac, and it was obvious in Flagstaff because he was only ever at Robin's. So we flashed to the family mission statement ceremony, which was dumb. And they're all talking, and we get to see Robin try to cry during hers, and Christine reading hers, which was about having parties. And maybe if Christine had had the party for Truly, there'd have been enough chicken. Just saying. So Cody's like, we've just shredded this mission statement and it's sad. And that's the only word he ever uses to describe this that I can think of. The women use words like devastating, um, trying, upsetting, difficult, heartbreaking. Cody only uses the one. And he's like, I have to move on. But it's strange to be in this place where I have to redefine my life. Dude, get over yourself. So Robin asks Isabel about going to church with Maddie and Caleb, and she's like, I like it. I've only been once, but I'd like to go again. And Cody's like, if I was in Utah, I'd be too embarrassed to show my face at church. Yeah, if I behaved that way on national television, so would I. Um, and he's like, we have no religious connection here in Flagstaff, and then it happens. We have to see part of Robin's purity speech. And thank you. I hate it. I hate it so much. Um, Cody says he's always been a man of faith, but he's a polygamist, so he's been at odds with it. And, there's a couple verses I could probably give you to explain why that is, but I'm not here to disparage anybody else's belief system. So I'm not going to be of any help there. And then he's like, we're in limbo, no pun intended. I don't get that joke. I don't. As far as I was aware, his religion doesn't have limbo. If someone else got it, can you please explain it to me? Because I didn't get it. And then we get a flashback of Maddie's wedding. And I think that was literally only to set up for the producer asking, so have you spoken to Maddie? And he's like, no. Sometime in the breakup with Christine, Maddie stopped reaching out. Then you call her. But of course, he doesn't know why Maddie stopped reaching out. And Janelle's like, because of your behavior. She doesn't want her kids to know the craziness that you've been going through. And fair, I agree. I wouldn't want that either. So Robin's like, my kids miss their siblings, and there's a wall there that I can't penetrate. Not we, I. That's the problem, Robin. They don't want you to penetrate the wall. Back off, stop controlling everybody's relationships, and let your kids just have their siblings. Ugh. And Cody smiles as he tells us that they're a broken family. So we go over to Garrison's, and the boys have set up a garden for Janelle. We learn that Gwen has decided she's not going to move in, and Gabe is Janelle's gardener. And that's pretty much it, other than Janelle saying that they went out for her birthday last month and she really hasn't had any contact with Cody. She doesn't think he thinks about her, and frankly, they can be friendly when they see each other, but there's nothing there. That's kind of it. She does mention that her kids haven't talked to Cody, and that they basically ignore him. And so we get the flashback to Gabe mentioning the minor children, and then Cody's like, well, once you graduate high school, my obligation to you shifts, which, spoiler alert, Gabe graduated a year early. So you just stopped caring about him as a minor? Because frankly, I thought you said that your obligation changed at 21 because karmically you've done everything you can for them and they're adults. Bye bye. Right? Isn't that what you told us? And then he's like, after high school, if the relationship goes bad, move out. It's not your house, it's mine. Dude, you're not even on the lease. So Janelle's like, Cody's getting exactly what he puts into these relationships. And yes, he is. She also points out that she hasn't talked to Mary or Robin in a year since that conversation she walked off from at the end of season 17. And that she doesn't really have any reason to. She and Robin were never really friends before. She and Mary have had personality differences for a long time. And she just doesn't need to reach out. And that's fine. But it does kind of tear down that narrative that Robin pushed on us where she said she asked Janelle not to move him out. Just saying. She mentions wanting to put greenhouses out on the property and then talks about how they're going to lose the property unless they pay it off. And Cody's like, Janelle keeps pestering me, and Robin and I intend to build out there. And Janelle's like, I really hope they're not stupid enough to lose this property. They are, but you're not. Um, so we go over to Truly trying to learn to ride a bike. And we know that that was kind of a traumatizing experience for Truly. We see Cody yelling at her again. I hate that. And if somebody yelled at me like that, I wouldn't want to ride a bike either, whether out of spite or just in general. So then Isabel, Aspen, Peyton, and Mitch are all there. They're gonna try and teach her. It's gonna be fun. Peyton's doing everything he can to adjust the seat. He's holding on to her. She's trying to come up with all the reasons why she can't do this. And finally we get to Mitch, which Peyton was cute. Mitch is the best part. Mitch is trying to get her just to walk the bike forward on her feet so that she doesn't feel so uncomfortable. And um, everybody's kind of shouting and talking over top of everything. And he's like, whoa, Truly needs less voices. She just needs to do this. And I was like, that's right, Mitch. That's right. Because she does. She needs less voices. She just needs to do it because she's afraid of falling. And frankly, she needs to fall. You can't ride a bike until you've fallen because you're going to constantly be afraid of falling. And once you fall, you're going to realize there's really not a lot to falling. Is it going to hurt? Possibly. Is it going to, or it's not a fun experience, but you have to fall off so you won't be afraid of falling. I Truly's like, we just need to wait till I'm taller. Next year I'll be taller. No, true. That's not how it works. So we come up to the end where we hear about the rest of Mary's struggle about leaving Cody. And it's at this point, I've lost my spot again. Um, it's at this point where we get to see clips of Cody and Mary together, um, where it looks like it's the only times that Cody's been nice to Mary ever. And over top of these nice, sweet clips, we get to hear how Cody told Mary he never loved her. And she's like, yes, you did. Don't worry about it, Mary. He told Janelle and Christine he never loved them either, so you're in good company. She is talking about how she has a good relationship with Robin and her kids and how she's gonna keep that good relationship with Robin's kids as long as Cody and Robin will let her, which is kind of gross. She does tell us that at that dinner she wanted to go public with their breakup and Cody told her no because he was receiving too much criticism. And let me tell you, buddy, you're gonna receive a lot more criticism now for making her hide it. And she's like, no, I'm not gonna hide it. It's my story and I want to tell it. So good for you. You should tell it. Then she weighs her options of whether or not she wants to pretend to have a relationship or end it. She's gonna end it. She's gonna break up with Robin. So in the next preview, then we get to see Christine setting up for her 50th birthday party. That was hard to say. Janelle's new apartment that for some reason Cody is shocked he's not going to live in. She broke up with you, bruh. Um, And then Mary's like, screw him, he's not even worth it about Cody, and that's the one I want to see. I want to know. I want to see. Yeah, I let's take a poll in the comments. Do you think that this is going to be where Mary breaks up with Robin and Cody, or do you think this is setting up for the breakup with Robin and Cody? Where are we at? What do we think? Because I'm very curious to know if we think that we're getting the breakup in this next episode or we're pushing it off to another one. I'm actually kind of concerned that if we get it in the next episode, that's it. That's the end of the season. And I'm not prepared for it because I'm not prepared to let go of, all these recaps yet. So I did say I would go back and do the older episodes, and I'm excited to because my husband's never seen them, so I'm going to make him watch them with me. Anyway, that's really all I have for you guys. Let's answer the question down in the comments. If you have anything you'd like to add, please add it down there. If you can explain any of the things I didn't understand, or if you want to talk about any of the things I kind of glossed over, that's fine too. That's really everything I've got. If you like the video, feel free to like it. If you want to subscribe, we're trying to hit 500 by Christmas. We're pretty darn close. We're only about 125 off, so that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. You guys are great. And yeah, that's really all I've got. So I guess until the next big Sister Wives thing, I'll see you soon.